perfectly lead into this. It's perfect.
Yeah.
How's the song going?
It's okay. It was a second release on Spotify, so it probably would have done well if I released it on Spotify first instead of putting it on SoundCloud. I think I just didn't do it in the right order.
Yeah. What, it got put on the wrong name?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a car crash. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, by the time I got it on Spotify, it was under the wrong name, and then by the time it was on like my name and my profile, it wasn't really very fresh anymore. A lot of people have already heard it, and it wasn't, getting shared as much because people have already done that. So
yeah, no, that's the same thing with my one, and I was like, I can't keep asking people to like share it and keep promoting it like every time it gets messed up. But
yeah, it was a bit annoying in that sense. But I'm just glad it's out there. I'm not really I'm not the kind of person who's like, oh, if it doesn't do well, then I'm going to delete it, because it's like that's not really why I put it out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a bonus if it does well, but it's kind of just like an expression,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's nice to
like a portfolio, really. So
yeah, because then if people, I mean, as long as you're happy with it, I guess when you release other stuff, people can go back to it.
Exactly, yeah. And I do have some other things, but we'll get to talk about that later, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. So, big list of questions. Writing. How do you write? What do you do first?
So whether I'm writing on my guitar or I'm writing on a DAW, I normally start with the instrumental first and then put the lyrics over the top. But I have a basic idea of how I want it to sound and what it's going to be like and the kind of mood I want, or what's inspired me. But generally I put the lyrics on last.
Is that from like, where are you getting your ideas? Do you do the voice note thing? I have like 100 voice notes, maybe like, no.
Yeah. I do have a lot of voice notes, but a lot of the time, then like if I'm working in Logic, I'll just find a sound that I like and just like boop, boop, boop. Try and come up with something. And then I always start in the middle as well. I always start with a chorus and then work my way out. Because once I've got a really good solid chorus or a good solid drop and I'm like, this sounds great, it won't be finished at all. Like one of the like most important things is to keep evolving what you're doing as well. But I'll start with my chorus or my drop or the main statement in the song and then build my way out. Which may be a weird approach, but it works for me.
That's probably a way better approach. I always start with verses. I want like some really wordy bit, and then I'm like, oh, it has to have a chorus. Like, oh, I guess I'll do that. But then,
yeah. No. I mean, they can always not have a chorus if you have loads of strong verses. Maybe you don't even need a chorus and just have verse.
I guess so. Do you enjoy writing choruses the most? Do you like?
I feel like I maybe. I don't know. I feel like I can write some good melodies. Yeah, I think. And I've been working in Logic for like 3 years now, so I really know a lot of. I have some little things that I do in Logic to make some cool drops and some cool choruses that I like to do, but I'm trying to stray away from doing so much electronic music and try and do some more sort of folky style stuff, some acoustic, but also keeping in with my same kind of genre that I already work in.
Yeah.
Just switching it up a bit,
Is that because who you're listening to is changing and you want to make music more like other people, or you just feel
I have been listening to a lot more folk music, but also just because I feel like it comes a bit more natural to me. These acoustic songs, because if I look back at all the songs I've written, a lot of the ones I like the most is me and my guitar, and I really have to try and push myself out of my comfort zone to make the sort of electronic music that I just released, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, I feel like this sort of acoustic guitar stuff comes more naturally to me.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So
are
you teaching guitar now?
Yeah, I do. I teach guitar to little kiddies.
Cool.
It's not too difficult. But they're really lovely little girls, and it's really nice to sort of just have a chat with them every week and see where they're going with it.
Yeah. Do you still feel like you're learning a lot of like guitar stuff? So you're always learning new songs and stuff?
Yeah, well, a lot of the songs they do want to hear are like classic pop songs that every 8-year-old girl likes. So a lot of it is kind of just like, this is how you play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and this is how you play Katy Perry's new song. It's like,
cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to branch them out and learn new songs, because a lot of I wouldn't be the kind of musician I was today if it weren't for music teachers saying, maybe you should listen to this, or go look at this sheet music and stuff. So but yeah, I am learning some new stuff on guitar just to try and give them more of an academic viewpoint, because I'm not very academically inclined on the guitar, so I need to sort of do that a bit better.
And so who are your folk people? Who do you like?
At the moment, I was listening to them a lot last week. There is this Swedish duo called First Aid Kit. They have such lovely voices, harmony. Yeah, they're really good. So I've been listening to quite a bit of that. And I've just done this paper for university about Swedish and Finnish folk music. So I was really into that like a couple of weeks ago. That's what I was listening to. So it's kind of influenced me a little bit, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. What makes like Swedish and Finnish folk music different?
Oh, it's a whole thing. There's a lot. Wow. Surprisingly, there's a lot about cultural appropriation in Finnish folk music, apparently. And it's just a lot of political agendas as well. It's quite deep, you know. So I won't bore you with all of that, because it does get a bit.
Yeah.
Like,
good.
Interesting.
So you have new stuff that you're doing. Are you looking at labels? Are you looking at like different distributors? Different ways
I was thinking about it. I need to do my research. I don't really have any knowledge about that, but I definitely think it would be something I should look into.
I feel like that sort of stuff is so like hidden and weird, and there's loads of like secrets and everyone selling you different stuff. Like, yeah.
I do know a few people. I don't know how to say this without sounding like a dick. In the industry. Who could probably give me a bit of guidance, but yeah.
Is that like people from your, like, is there like a good little community and stuff at your uni? Do you know a lot of other
I haven't actually met anyone, to be honest. I've met them online, and we talk on Zoom sometimes and in Discord, but I haven't met them in person. But no, kind of like other people that I've just sort of been speaking to, who do this kind of stuff, and have already given me a lot of help already with getting my music on Spotify, because I didn't even know how to do that. So they gave me a really good distributor sort of website, but it's not like I'm signed with anything. I kind of just paid the money and they did it for me.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Do you think you will go and play with these people? Do you want to start a band? Do you want to like? Are you solidly into the solo music thing? Are you like?
Yeah, I would like possibly. I'm not really into bands. I don't really think that's my thing. I've been in a handful of bands in the past, and it's all just gone wrong, and I end up leaving, and so it's not really my thing. But I do like collaborating with other people. At the moment, I'm working on 3 different collaborations for these EDM tracks. So, which is going to be exciting because it's very different from what I'm doing solo on my own. But yeah, I like collaborating with other people.
Are you singing? Are you playing? Like, how are you doing EDM?
I've just been approached to sing on over the top of what they've made. So
Very cool.
kind of like what you and me did. Just can you sing on this? Thanks. Send it back. So yeah.
That's it. Cool.
Yeah.
And you doing that all like from your house? I don't even know how you recorded on my track.
Oh, I have a I don't really have a studio because I'm moving about a lot. But I have a setup. I have this lovely microphone, which is here. It's an AKG P120, if anyone was interested. And it's got a really nice pickup on it, and it's got a good frequency range, so it does the job.
Do you do that
it was like
just as like a room mic, or you do that with separate mics for guitar and vocals?
Yeah, no, I use it for everything really. But I'll record everything separately. I won't just kind of like stick it in the room and play, just because you get better sound quality if you record everything separately, I think.
Yeah, I'm very torn about that because I hate recording to a click. Like, it's fine if I'm doing the stuff in my band is all like jazz and whatever, so it's
cool.
Kind of has to be. But I don't know. I always find if I'm sitting there and I'm playing to a click and I'm trying to like sing with any kind of feeling or play with any kind of feeling, just completely biased. So I end up recording both together and then having to like mix down this massive like sounds at the same time.
I would recommend doing them separately and trying, because otherwise it can get a bit lost, I guess.
Yeah.
Or even oh no, you probably can do that at the same time. I was gonna say you could always run your guitar directly into your interface, but then you don't get the sort of natural qualities. It's a bit more.
Yeah, I don't have. It's this one, and it's
no.
Just used it. There's no pickup in it. What am I buy?
Oh right. Well, if you ever wanted some guitar tips, I mean, I'm pretty on like recording sound quality. I get that like drilled into my head every single week, so feel free to ask. I don't mind.
How was your course? How was that?
It's okay. Yeah, it's really interesting. We cover a lot of ground. Yeah, I mean, we're not allowed to go in, so it's pretty much all remote, which can be a bit frustrating, and a bit unmotivating. But I'm trying my best.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're missing out on all the? I always felt like so much of it must be like access to studios and access to nice equipment and stuff.
Yeah, we have really good facilities at Bournemouth, and it's just really nice. All of the studios, they've got like a surround sound room. They have 9 different speakers all the way around the room, which is awesome. And so many facilities. And not only that, but I'm a classical singer, so I do a lot of classical music as well, and I can't go to my chamber choir, and I can't have my music lessons, and I can't get in that sort of community, and I was can't be in any of the plays or the operas this year, so that was a bit frustrating as well.
I didn't even know you did. And you've mentioned doing opera before. I didn't know you did plays and stuff. Is that all like musical theatre?
Yeah, I've done some musical theatre plays in the past, but I was really excited to take part in some operas because I've never done that before, but I can't yet, so that's gonna have to wait.
Yeah. Oh, do you think that's kind of soon? Like, do you know, is your uni coming back or?
Yeah, well, it was supposed to happen in May, and it was an opera that I actually really liked, so that was really annoying. But I'm guessing it's just gonna happen next year. So
that's a whole other like, I don't know. I did a module, like an opera module in my music course at uni, and I was
cool.
no one knows about this. Like, I can't talk to anybody about this. Such a weird other like standalone thing. Do you,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you see it playing into your music in like arrangement or orchestration?
Not really. No, it is a pretty separate thing. But yeah, I only really got into it probably when I was 14, and I had a really cool singing teacher, and she just gave me all of these things to look at, and I was like, I don't have a very high voice. I can't do this, but now I can. I have a really freaky range. So it's exciting because I'm a soprano,
Yeah.
and it's really fun. And yeah, so
So like you actually found singing lessons made like a huge difference.
yeah,
Were
it's
you
really
naturally like a
exciting.
really good singer like when you were young?
I probably would have thought so when I was young, but looking back, no. I actually found like I was going through my voice notes, like you said, you have loads of voice notes, so do I. And I found one from 2016, and I was like crying with laughter at how bad it was. And my voice used to crack all the time because I guess my voice was changing. I didn't have much control over it. So I would have these really embarrassing voice cracks like all the time.
In front of people, like at shows and stuff. Like in front of people, were you doing it at shows? Were you doing
Oh yeah, some of them I would like. Oh, some of the most embarrassing memories I have is when I'd be like performing at school and like my voice would crack. Sometimes this one time before I even started singing on the first word, my voice just like cracked and then went, and I was like gasping for breath. It was really embarrassing.
actually,
And it was in front of like all of my classmates and their parents, and it was fucking horrible.
oh man. Well, I don't know. Maybe if you like get through that and other shows after, like at least it can't be that bad ever again.
Yeah, literally. We've got to have the moments, don't we? So like
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess if you're putting yourself out there and doing it, and also like pushing it enough and properly going for it enough that your voice is cracking, at some point, like that thing pays off more than if you're just like quietly playing it safe all the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's your new stuff? What are you making apart from EDM?
I've been writing some songs. I've got probably like a collection of 4 or 5 at the moment, which I kind of want to develop and make into an EP or something like that. But they need a bit of work, and they need to evolve a little bit more before I put anything out there, because like they're in. Yeah, but I did a live stream the other day, and I played some of them, and people said they liked them, so that was nice to get a little bit of feedback on like their first stages. So now I can really start recording them and adding more bits to it and just making it a bit more exciting. So
yeah, that's cool. It's like a nice stage to be at. Always like
yeah,
that bit when you're like you have an idea and kind of
yeah, hopefully it'll go well.
Did you used to do loads of open mics at the Cabin? Did you do your own music then, or were you doing mostly covers?
No, I was a little bit too afraid to do anything I wrote, and looking back now, none of the songs I wrote back then were really any good. Like the melodies weren't very developed, and the lyrics are a bit just like boring. I'm not saying like the stuff I make now is perfect, but it does still need work. But I wouldn't like go back and go work on any of the songs I used to write. But no, I have before. But most of the time I would just sing covers. Yeah.
I find like that process of playing it in front of people is helpful, like working out what actually works and what doesn't.
Yeah, I've had a lot of embarrassing experiences playing in front of people. but it doesn't stop me. It's just kind of like move on, get over it. You know, and it just builds confidence, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I always
And
found
just have fun with it, really. Yeah.
when my band was doing stuff and we'd have all these bits that I was like, oh, this is amazing. I can't wait to get to this bit in the set because everyone's gonna like freak out. It's gonna be the best. Always, every time, no one cares about like that one bit that you love, and then you get some like throwaway bit, and everyone's dancing, and everyone's like
I know
I
what you
didn't know
mean.
what's good. I got no idea. Like,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I was when I was playing my live stream on Sunday, one of the songs I was playing, I was so excited to play it. I was like, this song is so beautiful. It wasn't mine. I'm not that. I'm humble. But it was this cover and I loved it. And as soon as I started playing with it, like a couple of people left, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm delusional.
yeah.
But no, I just don't really let them things get to me, and I'm like, if I enjoy it, who cares? There's bound to be someone else out there who enjoys it too, and that's kind of the mentality I've been trying to go with. Just be kind to myself and not really.
I guess it's like extra hard in lockdown. Like everyone's just making stuff in their room and like sitting on it, and with no feedback and no idea what people actually want to hear. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I find that really hard. I go down some weird rabbit holes and I'm like, what have I made?
Yeah. It is really good to talk to kind of like-minded people, because I'll often send something to my friends who are not really that musical, and they'd be like, wow, that's really nice. And I'm like, any other feedback? I really like it. And it's like, oh, that's not helpful.
Like, oh, cool, it's done then. Like,
yeah.
but then if you speak to really musicy people and you're like, you send them a track and you're like, oh, what do you think of it? And they're like, oh, well, there's too much 10K in the shaker that's panned like slightly too far to the left, and then in the guitar you could have like tiny little EQ changes, and they're like, oh, if you side change your reverb, and you're like, well, like there's a middle ground between general
There's
nothing.
like people that don't care enough, and people who generally, people in our position are perfectionists. I don't know if you can agree with me, but I always am finding them tiny little things that normal people wouldn't really pick up on.
And also like the balance of, like, if I send it out to someone and I just get back like, oh yeah, you could change these few bits and this, and I'm like, open with a compliment, otherwise you're just crushing my heart.
Yeah.
And now I hate you and I'm never going to send you music again.
No, I've always liked what you put out. It's really, really nice. Yeah.
I'm almost out of questions. Just tips, loads of tips. I want your songwriting tips and most of your production tips, because you know loads about production now.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I know a moderate amount. Songwriting tips. I would just kind of touched on it before, but just be confident. If you like it, then someone else in the world is bound to like it. Most of the time, people writing songs and who are already really musically talented aren't going to be really delusional, and they're going to put good stuff out there, but a lot of people can be too critical on themselves. And I've seen it with like a lot of friends who are into music, and they write something and they're like, oh, I'm too scared, it's too personal, or it's too weird, or like no one's going to get it. And I'm like, someone out there is going to really love it, so you might as well put it out, even if just one person's going to like it.
Yeah, that's always.
And not a lot of people actually listen to the words properly, yeah. So they're probably just going to be like, it's a great song, and not really care what it's about. So.
Yeah, for sure. And production wise, so did you do the production on your track?
Yeah, I did that all by myself.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
Really good. Very nice.
Yeah, well, I've been doing I've been studying production for 3 years now. Only in Logic. I'm pretty set on Logic 'cause that's the best one to use, but I'm a bit biased. I haven't really tried the other ones. I've like had a little dabble, but I'm just like, oh, I don't know how to use it and
Yeah,
go on.
yeah, I think
But
whatever you start with, you just get too deep in it, and then
yeah, but I know my way around Logic, and no, it's just been a real good help. And I mean, there's loads of production tips, but I was trying to come up with one, kind of like an umbrella one. And one tip that I would say is, when you are mixing something or developing an idea or something, always like leave it for a week and then come back with a fresh set of ears, because if you mix something to death all in like 5 hours or something and you're like, yeah, it's done, you'll listen to it a month later and think, what was I thinking? Like, this is not balanced,
yeah,
or anything. And it's just, it will end up just sounding really muddy, because after a while your ears just don't pick up on these small things because they get tired. Or even just getting a second person to listen to it and just saying honestly, what can you hear, what can't you hear, what needs to be louder, what needs to be quieter. And also visualizing everything where you want it to go in the track. So if you were kind of like looking, I don't know, in front of you, you'd want your drums to be in the center. You maybe want your guitar to be over here, or you want your bass to be in the center, and your main vocals, and then harmonies and or violins or whatever. So kind of just visualize everywhere where you want it to go, and then you can pan it accordingly. And another thing that really helps me is doing things in an order. I have a little order that I do things in to keep everything neat and tidy. I
yeah,
really, I'm a bit neurotic when it comes to my projects, because I want it to be, I do my housekeeping. So I want it to be really neat and tidy, and I want to know where everything is, and it just helps me do that visualization again, and work in a sort of order that works for you. So like doing panning and then doing effects and so on, and then compression and things like that. So you can say like, oh, I've done the most that I can of that, and then you can move on from that and then start on the next thing,
mm,
instead of going back and forth, because you will need to go back and forth to some extent, because you will always be tweaking it. But for the main part, kind of work in blocks, just to keep it nice and neat and tidy in your head, so you know where you're going,
mm,
which I think is really helpful for me. But everyone's different. Some people, the thing about mixing and producing, it's very different to everyone. Some people just benefit from just going all in and messing about with it, and just, if it sounds good, then it doesn't really matter how you got there.
yeah.
But as someone who's was quite young, what was I, 17 when I started doing it, it was really good for me to have that sort of building blocks,
Mm. And if
because there's a lot more to it than people think. That's the thing.
you like approach each one exactly the same way, pretty much, like you have an idea and then you're like, okay, I'm setting up my project, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and then each track you treat.
Well, most of the time I'm only doing my own vocals and stuff like that, and my own guitar, and so I know I have a like a reverb that works really well with my voice, for example. So I don't really change a lot about that. But yeah, for other people that have different qualities in their voice, like I have a bit of warmth to my voice that I like to bring out, but someone else might have a lot of brightness in their voice that they want to bring out, or even cut that. So everyone's a bit different depending who you're working with.
Do you just have like a signal chain set up? Do you have a template project that you like sing into?
Um, no, I always do it from scratch each time. I don't just like save the same thing,
Mm.
just because it might be a bit different, because it's a bit more, I guess it's a quite robotic thing if you're just kind of like slapping the same thing on everything. So I have the same sort of routine that I go through, but yeah, for the most part I kind of start from scratch and see what sounds good, because at the end of the day, if it sounds good, then it doesn't really matter. what you did or how you got there. If it sounds like a really good polished track, then
Are you doing production for other people?
No, but I'd like to. I think that's something I'm really interested in, but I don't know, I always just find it a bit condescending approaching people, because sometimes there might be someone better out there. But if someone came to me and said, could you help me or collaborate with me, I'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a look. I really enjoy it, so it would be nice. But yeah, I guess that's something I'll probably advertise a bit more when I'm a bit more experienced, or when I actually have my degree, because then I can have something to back me up.
How long is that when you're done?
I think in 3 years.
Oh, long time.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So.
Okay, well, I'm happy. You give me loads of stuff. I'm gonna go away and record and like make my projects neat